So, something that I wanted to talk about. Some of you will remember a long time ago, actually, there he goes again. A decent while ago now, it would have been last year sometime, I recorded an episode of something called Rycon Raw. And Rycon Raw was essentially a piece to camera with myself when I just talk over a single subject. And it was essentially as I was walking to work. And I wanted to do a whole section of them, but really I didn't have any important topics or topics that I kind of felt strongly about. To kind of try and mention, to kind of try and bring up. The first one was all about getting started. It was about getting started on YouTube, but also getting started on other kind of creative projects in life and the danger of starting again. You know, going back over and over again and just kind of retreading the same ground, and how easy it is to do it, and how I used to do it all the time, and how I'm really tempted to do it as well. So if you haven't seen that one, I'd recommend you check that one out first. I went and I recorded a whole second episode, and it was quite long. It wasn't until I got back here that I realized that the audio was completely unusable because for some reason my phone was getting all kinds of cell phone interference. And so that was a bit of a miss, unfortunately. Quick sip. Changing out for the water this time. But the long and short of it is that Rycon Raw was all about the changes that are going on at the moment with YouTube. I mean, there's no short explanation of what's happening at the moment, but there are some big changes behind the scenes. There's been a lot of drama, and that's. I mean, it did have one kind of starting place. It started from one place, it's kind of spread from there, and it's grown bigger and bigger. But essentially, it's just become known as the Adpocalypse, with a whole heap of different advertisers pulling out of YouTube. And how a lot of YouTubers and also a lot of viewers are kind of seeing it as the end of YouTube. But, I mean, the way I see it is that it is just another... It's just a pothole. It's just a pothole along the road. Because at the end of the day, this is the first time this has been done before. YouTubers like to think that we are blazing our own trails all the time, and we are, but at the same time, YouTube is also blazing their own trail. They haven't done this before. No one has done this before with a platform of this kind of scale. So there is going to be problems along the way. There are going to be teething issues. And I feel like this is one that I kind of saw coming from a long way away. I didn't think we'd be at it now, but it's here now, and there was always going to be problems with advertisers eventually. Unfortunately, a lot of time, advertisers do have an influence on the content that that they are buying their space on. It's been like that for years and years with film and television, and so seeing it here on YouTube is something that I expected. I maybe didn't expect it to be like this, but I think it was something that was going to happen eventually. And so I don't think it's the end times. I don't think it is the adpocalypse. Things are bad or worse than they were, but I feel like it's recovering at the moment. And I think the really important thing to remember is that channels that are maybe more controversial, ones that aren't so advertiser friendly, those are the channels that we as viewers need to try and support in any way we can, because those are the ones that, they're going to be under the pressure of this more than anyone else. I mean, a lot of YouTubers will say that they are, and we all are, but nowhere near as much as some of those other channels that are really going to be feeling the heat. So if you have a channel that you love that is really feeling this, I recommend trying to support them in any way you can through this kind of period, because it's going to take a little while before things bounce back, before YouTube kind of stabilizes, before advertisers feel safe coming back to the platform. And they will, because, I mean, in terms of the amount of views that go through YouTube every single day, it's a big difference. Than your kind of traditional media. So it's going to bounce back, but this is going to be a tough period. So I think those channels are going to need that little extra hand at the moment. I think the one thing that's kind of been upsetting me through, Sargon, like people like Sargon, for example, there are people that will need that assistance through this period. So I highly recommend supporting the YouTubers that you really, really care about, that are going to be feeling the pinch through this. I guess the other side of this as well, and I think it's kind of like this is the negative side of it, is that a lot of YouTubers have kind of come out, and some saying satirically, others not so much, that, you know, at the end of the day, it is just about the money. It's about the paycheck. And for a lot of YouTubers, it probably is, because, I mean, you get to be an entertainer. For a lot of YouTubers, there's a really great paycheck in it, but for the majority of people who create content on YouTube, and that's a huge portion of them, they aren't the really, really big creators. The big creators, they do get all the views, but there are a lot of creators out there that don't get tons of views, and they do it for different reasons. You need to do it for other reasons than a paycheck, or even thinking of a paycheck in the future. And I feel like sometimes it paints all YouTubers with that same brush. They all think that that's the reason, that's the motivation, that's why people get up in the morning. If that's what I was doing, if I was getting up in the morning just for a paycheck, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. Because I mean, the truth of it is, I'm doing this full time right now, and I'm very lucky to be able to do it full time with the support of all of you out there and the support of Mrs. Rycon. I couldn't do this by myself. But if I was getting up every morning for a paycheck, I would have stayed being a freelance camera operator. I was earning 6 times as much as I was when, you know, than doing YouTube, but I choose to do YouTube for a different reason, because I'm motivated by different things. And I got a message today that really did hit me right in the heart. And I see this, I hear this from a lot of people all the time, and that's the thing that motivates me. The idea that my videos might be making a difference in someone else's life. When I started making these videos in the first place, I'm sorry, this is like a big ramble. This is Rycon Raw right now. I will get back to answering comments, I promise. When I started doing this, I was making videos for me. That's essentially how everyone starts off on YouTube, because there's no one watching your stuff when you first start posting. You need to be posting for yourself. I was creating role-playing videos on YouTube because I wanted to see more role-playing. I was addicted. I wanted to see more, so I created more for me to be able to watch. And then it slowly started to turn. When more people started watching, I realized that there were people out there that wanted to watch my stuff, and that became the motivator. I realized that this was something that could, you know, benefit and enrich other people's lives. And that's my motivator in the morning now. That's why I get up. And that's why I feel like it's such a, it's a much more powerful motivator than anything else, than any paycheck, any idea of celebrity or fame. The idea that doing what I'm doing might be making a difference to someone else's life. And I mean, that's it. That's it for me. And it upsets me sometimes when I see other YouTubers kind of try and paint everyone with the same brush, that, oh, if you're doing YouTube, you're only doing it because it's for the money, you know, where it isn't. And I think some larger content creators forget that sometimes, because there are a lot of middle of the road, even like low tier content creators who might only be making videos and getting 100 views on every video, but that's still 100 people. 100 people that could be making the world difference for. And if one person can affect 100 people and make their day just a little bit better, then I mean, that's worth it. And I think it is for a lot of others. So okay, all right. That's my Rycon Raw. That's my ramble. And thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. I've got that out. I feel good now that I got that out. I kind of half expected to get to the end of that and realize that like my mic had been muted or something, because that's essentially what I did when I was talking through it before. So yeah, there we go. That's my motivation, and that's kind of my thought on the whole Adpocalypse, and just some of the kind of negative brushes that I've been painting at the moment. So there we go. Thank you for all your support. I really do. It means the world to me. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to have a sip of water and kind of let the chat just catch up a little bit.